We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And quite frankly, when I saw this headline, when I saw this story, I thought to myself, are we back in the 1980s again? You know, this is one of my big issues when it comes to this idea of the Trump administration and being the quote-unquote peace party, etc., is that we have now just quote-unquote doubled. I didn't even know there was a $25 million bounty out there on Maduro, but a $50 million bounty on Maduro via accusations, and who knows? I'm not even saying that these accusations are necessarily false. I certainly have not seen the evidence. And to think that a South American leader would not have some type of cartel connections, I also think would be naive. But essentially, they are saying that he is working with the cartels to not only smuggle in cocaine, but cocaine laced with fentanyl. And whenever I hear fentanyl, okay, especially used in these broad terms, I constantly have to question what we're actually talking about. Because like I just said, it was laced fentanyl. You're constantly hearing about China flooding the United States in the fentanyl market. Okay, all these different things. I don't know. That's not my world on any level. I'm not a drug guy. I'm not a law enforcement guy. I'm not an international policy guy. I will say this, where there is demand, there is always a supply, okay? And yes, fentanyl is absolutely lethal. We're not pro-fentanyl here. But, once again, I think to myself, when this same kind of mantra was going on against the cartels, when I was hearing about, Escobar as a child and how bad Noriega was, where does that eventually lead? It leads to black ops and U.S. intelligence doing the whole, if you can't beat them, join them thing. And there's my big conundrum, okay? Because I need people to take a step back. Do you honestly believe that elements within our intel and defense community totally stopped dealing drugs after Iran-Contra? Do you? Because I think that would be extremely naive. Because once again, we did not have a system of true accountability. Instead, we had a system of limited hangout, although much bigger than what we've seen today in actual crimes, especially on that level. And then pardons after the fact. Many of those pardons coming from somebody George H.W. Bush that was literally balls deep in it. Balls deep. Okay? And this really does circle right back to the Epstein issue, our inability to confront and expose the true scandals that were going on in the 80s in regards to Iran-Contra and how that network continued. And how dirty of a game arms dealing really is. Not a fan of drug dealing, especially when you're starting to talk about things that'll take your life like that. But you know what else will take yours and everybody around you life like that, and that? Bunch of ICBMs. Boom, baby. Come on. So that's where I'm at on this. And one of the other things that I've noticed with Venezuela in particular, because this is one of those nations where the U.S. seems to be paying attention to it more than other nations, is that they have resources. And then again, our intel community has been disrupting South America for decades upon decades through private institutions. Read John Perkins' Confessions of an Economic Hitman. You know, Perkins is one of those guys that simply is not talked about enough. When he put that book out, it did kind of circle into the quote-unquote alternative media community. Didn't reach a lot farther, and it's barely whispered about today. But that's the real deal. Now, I'm not even sitting here and telling you Maduro's a good guy. I don't know if Maduro's a good guy. All right? But I can tell you this. We are going to play a clip of Maduro recently. And he's going to be talking. And by the way, I'm going to have to read the subtitles to you. I know enough Espanol to know, that the translation underneath seems to be pretty accurate from the words that I do know. But we're going to play this clip of Maduro talking about what's going on in the Middle East and Israel and Gaza in particular, where, I'll say it again, we're talking about foreign policy. I want the wars to end. I want non-interventionism. I'm a Ron Paul guy. Okay? I don't want all this. I don't like Netanyahu basically just saying he's annexing Gaza. And Trump, okay. That's not strong leadership. And by the way, that's something I might just have to pull up live. I forgot about that. A blogger over at the Jerusalem Post is essentially saying that once Trump stopped bombing Iran on behalf of Israel, that bombing run that I didn't like, and this is what I keep telling people, the more you give to them, the more they will take. If you don't put a line in the sand, expansion of these conflicts is inevitable. And essentially, you have this guy saying that when Trump dared to push back, they pushed back with leaking that Epstein stuff. In other words, the birthday stuff, the Epstein at Trump's wedding, etc. And you could take that as you will. I mean, that's outward, in-your-face blackmail, and then media personalities nudging at it saying, hey, wise up, we've got more. So we're going to play Maduro. We're going to show you this evidence. And before we even go that far, I'll say this about Venezuela, all right? Chavez, who ended up dying of brain cancer, who was another guy they tried to take out. There's like this whole helicopter incident. What the hell are we doing? Talking about other countries trying to interfere in our elections and political process. We're doing bad things, okay? Sorry. We should not be doing these things. Chavez, when Bush II was in office, to his credit, went to the United Nations and said the podium smelled of sulfur after Bush had stood there. Okay? And look, Bush, too, a bit of a putz, certainly not the driving force of that administration, really a figurehead among figureheads, but boy, did he have those neocons right behind him. Very competent predator class minions, okay, and social climbers. Cheney, Wolfowitz, Rice, Rumsfeld. I go all the way down the line. Colin Powell, the wolf in sheep's clothing. Remember that? A lot of guys you would see later on in the Obama administration, and even some in the Trump administration later. Tommy Franks, Mattis. All right. I'm getting off on a jag here. We're going to start it up. Let's thumbs it up. Let's subscribe, share, ring that bell. Get all the notifications. This first time in years, literal years, we've been able to grow on YouTube. Still not monetized here. Okay? And great, we're growing on YouTube. We might not have a show, folks. Again, there are no paychecks. I need you now more than ever. I do want to thank all those that have donated. Someone, Rebecca, R. Werner. I need you now. $5, $10, $15. It does mean the world to me, folks. And then on top of that, big donors. Could not do it without you. There are other links down below. Let's get into it. So this is a clip. If you want to go grab it yourself, I've retweeted it. All right. And this is Maduro talking about Israel. Now, I want to remind people. $50 million. And right here in the very beginning, they're talking about the narco trafficking and working with cartels to flood the U.S. with fentanyl-laced cocaine. Again, I don't know whether that's even true. But, apparently this has been out since the Biden administration. Okay, at one point, the reward was $15 million, then $25 million. And they offered the same amount to capture Osama bin Laden following the September 11th attacks. And that was nothing more than a show. And you see this, the Epstein headlines. Before we play this clip, you think I'm kidding. Here it is right here. Trump and his administration criticized Netanyahu and Israel. And now the Epstein files are haunting him. For a long time, the files have subsided in the background. They weren't considered to be much of a threat to Trump, but all of a sudden, right after he started up with Israel, the files resurfaced. And they seem to be overwhelming him. Okay? Let's go a little further here. And now some old files are threatening him. Perhaps Trump will realize that it doesn't really pay to start up with Israel. Perhaps those implicated in the files will express contrition and regret. Because when by divine providence, things that were hidden become revealed, it enables people to correct their mistakes and to endeavor to live their lives properly the way God wants them to. So, yeah, they invoke God in this. That's very lovely of them. As this Times of Israel, it's Yosef Janowiski. There he is right there. Basically saying, hey, stop. Hey, stop. You're going to go along with whatever we want geopolitically and militarily, no matter how crazy and insane that is. And the thing is that if you really open up all the Epstein files, it's not just Trump, obviously. I mean, the stuff on Trump is minuscule. That would have been used. I truly do not believe that they have anything on him with children. That doesn't mean they make him look good. Okay, I'm sure there's plenty there that does not make him look good. A lot of time spent with Maxwell and Epstein, the beauty pageant stuff, okay, the model stuff. You have the accusations of other people that have dropped it. Katie Johnson in particular, we've shown you that. But when it comes to military alliances, once again, in that plausible deniability circle in the Iran-Contra network, and you notice the New York Times, by the way, just published those new pictures of Epstein with Bill Clinton, one of them, an old one with Trump that everybody's seen, right? But then he's with all these Saudis. All these Saudis. Why? That's part of the arms dealing game. Iran-Contra, drug dealing, arms dealing, Central Intelligence, Mossad, IDF, U.S. military. And now we're going to play Maduro, calling out what's going on today. And maybe one of the reasons they don't like him much. But here's a hint. Maduro's not in the Epstein files. Say what you want about him. I don't think Maduro's going to be showing up there. So let's do it. Let's read this along. You can't read it. I've got Kurt Metzger sitting right there. We'll do it right from here. How's that? Boom. Okay. Who bombs their neighboring countries every day? Iran? No, shakes his head. The Zionist state, led by Netanyahu. Who tests bombs by destroying buildings? Houses, hospitals, schools, maternity wards? Who? Not just now, for 76 years. They let the genocide in Gaza happen. And still, every day they kill 100 Palestinians, 60 boys and girls, women, the elderly. They destroyed 80% or more of the buildings and houses. It's a war zone there, by the way, folks. Schools, mosques, churches, hospitals. They destroyed everything. And that Western world of European elites and U.S. imperialists supported the destruction and genocide of Gaza. A genocide. Broadcast live on social media. Then they went after the people of Lebanon. And they also killed dozens, hundreds of innocent people in Beirut. In southern Lebanon, the noble Arab people of Lebanon, they are our brothers. Then they went for Syria. And they still bomb it whenever they feel like it. Netanyahu and the Zionists. Now they try to crush Iran. And a war has broken out where Iran has shown immense military power. And as the Iranians say themselves, they still haven't brought out the strategic war. They've prepared. What do we want for humanity? What do we want? That a nuclear war escalates? I don't think so. That a war escalates and starts to take on global characteristics and takes all of Central Asia, East Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and once again brings a great destructive war to the whole planet? Those who hold political power and have driven this war with just one word could stop it. But every day, the arrogance of supremacists throws more fuel on the fire every single day. We in Venezuela advocate for peace, for a just peace, and we support the Palestinian people, the people of Lebanon, and the people of Yemen, the people of Syria, and the wonderful people of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I really don't know where I can disagree with Maduro on anything he said right there. You can say what you want about him politically, personally, and the people. I've hated what's going on in Israel right now, in Gaza, in what was Palestine. Because like he said, 80% of the buildings are gone. You go to my feed at Jason Bermas, go follow me there, and you scroll down, and there's plenty of videos overhead. You don't even have to do it. It's a tough watch. And I'll tell you what, be careful searching because, you know, it's been 2+ years I'm watching dead kids in my feed. He talks about Syria too, right? Oh, we're so concerned about Syria that an ex-Al-Qaeda al-Nusra leader is the person that's been installed after the U.S. clearly overthrew Assad. After how long? A decade? A decade plus of covert military action, Operation Timber Sycamore and beyond? Then you look at the organizations, the globalist organizations, NATO in particular, the UN in particular, the White Helmets in particular, that Trump just cut a deal with. And one side portrays them as the best thing since breakfast. And then you dig a little deeper, pretty horrific. Don't want to be a part of that system at all. 0%. Oh, so folks, there it is. You're probably not going to get that take in a lot, obviously not in the mainstream, right? Mainstream media, Going to be shying away from a lot of that. Alternative media, I don't know that you're going to get that take there either. I hope that you've enjoyed this broadcast. Let me know what you think, not just in the live stream if you're watching there, but down below in the comment section. Remember that I am a documentary filmmaker and all of my films are free. Again, if you want to understand why I'm extremely upset and skeptical about all this, we need to look in the mirror of not only ourselves, but our allies and what we allow and do on a daily basis, okay? So please check out Fabled Enemies and Loose Change Final Cut to learn about 9/11, okay? And then check out Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture for the large-scale stuff, okay? And once again, I cannot do it without you. I really, really want to continue giving you daily, multi-time day shows. We're going to be coming back later on in a bit. All right. $5, $10, $15. Once again, it means the world to me. Big donors, thank you so much. You don't like the buy me a coffee, you want to be more anonymous, right down below is a PayPal as well. As you know, guys, to me, this is not a left-right issue. This isn't about socialism and capitalism, okay? This isn't about conservatism versus communism. None of that. No. This is about right and wrong every single time. Absolutely love you, and we'll see you all on the flip side.